Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for passing by. Thank you so much for subscribing and thank you very much for watching my videos. You are greatly appreciated. So I have been watching, just like everyone else or so many persons across the globe, the case of rapper, hip-hop mogul, as they call him, the disgrace hip-hop mogul P. Diddy trial. And so far it has been very interesting. I'm glad they got past the entire freakoff testimony from Cassie and whoever else, the sex worker and stuff like that, and they're onto the part wherein Kid Cudi, rapper Kid Cudi, gave his testimony. Also, Dawn Richards gave her testimony as to what took place. Based on what she saw, wherein Diddy frequently abused Cassie, had a gun on him at one point and pulled it. He hit her with a frying pan. She was knocked over, curled up and stuff like that. But, you know, the media has a way of overshadowing the truth, of bending the truth. And I remember when Dr. Ray Higgins have repeatedly said, he who controls the thinking, he who controls the printing controls the thinking of the age. He who controls the printing controls the thinking of the age. And what we're seeing is it being on display before our very eyes. Because while watching the trial and watching everything that has taken place, so far, Dawn Richard have been caught in 13 different lies. Something of which the major media outlet that have been broadcasting or have been talking or speaking on the entire case have not spoken on. They only repeat what Dawn was saying in court. Other persons who are attorneys at law, you know, it's a smear campaign and it's to expose Diddy. But before I get there, none of those persons who I've mentioned are the major news outlet, whether it be CNN, whether it be, I think, Fox, other major news outlet that have been broadcasting the entire trial, have yet to spoke on the truth and what was said in court verbatim. A lot of persons have been saying that the defense attorney, who is Nicole Westmoreland, have been drilling and have been grilling Dawn, and she's so innocent and, you know, all of these type of things. But what we're not seeing is the actual truth. There are a total of 13 different lies, of which Dawn Richards have been caught in. Because at one point, she mentioned about Cassie being hit with frying pan and stuff like that. And she was knocked over, fell, she curled up into a fetal position and stuff like that. And it found out to not be true when she was cross-examined. Also about Diddy pulling a gun or Diddy hitting Cassie at some festival. It turned out that the camera was following them the entire day, and it turned out to not be true. Also, because the reports were never given and no one saw it. It was never caught on tape. Also, the part about Diddy pulling a gun, quite a few things verbatim, and it had the court laughing because it became like a clown show based on the things that the defense was asking or was probing Dawn and how she was responding. It was like she wasn't there. She didn't say this. At one point, she's saying that she didn't say that. And then, you know, the defense gave her the notes to read based on her report and stuff like that. And it's question, you know, it's a big question as to what exactly is it that's taking place. Because was she not briefed or was she not informed that she'll be cross-examined or she'll be called to the stand, and she has to make certain that the report that she gave would coincide with the questions being asked. So she should, you know, they should refresh her memory as to the report that she made. And it made it look rather much like a clown show. And so it was ridiculed. It was a ridiculed situation, or she was ridiculed in court. And because of that, you know, it's almost like there's a one-up on Diddy's side. The reason I say that it is a smear campaign is persons are forgetting that Diddy admitted to the abuse of Cassie. A $20 million payment was settled, plus she received $10 million from the hotel, which is a total of 30 million US dollars. Diddy is on trial for sex trafficking. For those who do not know what sex trafficking is or what it means, you can go ahead and do your own research. It does not take long. So far from most persons, if not everyone, all they are speaking on is Diddy abusing Cassie. I'm sorry. Now, when we look into it, Cassie spoke on it in her lawsuit. The lawsuit was settled within 24 hours, of which she got her payout. Why is it being repeated in court? She got her settlement. It was paid out. Why is it being repeated in court? Why are we not hearing about Diddy sex trafficking? The sex worker who went on the stand spoke that Cassie paid him. Cassie was the one who paid him. And Diddy request of this and that and all these type of things. He'd never mentioned that Diddy was forcing Cassie. She was hesitant. She was unwilling. These are the things that are being brought out. And the media is swaying it and repeatedly speaking on Diddy punching Cassie, Diddy this, Diddy that, of which he had already admitted to. And there was a payout. And so we would have thought, like many other cases, when there is a mass payout of that amount, when it comes to abuse or when it comes to a settlement, there would be a situation wherein, okay, you would go and seek therapy, you would go and seek help and counseling to move on with your life. You can afford yourself an entire new life with 20 million US dollars. So you will not necessarily repeat it or speak on it or have any interest to address it. However, based on the fact that it's a sex trafficking case and trial, and she would have been subpoenaed to go to court, to give her testimony, I would think her testimony would be based on him illegally trafficking people to engage in sexual encounters of which they did not approve of or they did not consent to, of which would define sex trafficking. But so far, we have not heard anything like that. More so what freakoff was about, what drugs Diddy was taking when he was high, what purse did he carry, Louis Vuitton purse. This is a famous Louis Vuitton handbag. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Sex trafficking, last time I checked, is something that is extremely serious. Not a goat rodeo to be played out in the court. And it seems as if they're sensationalizing a very serious matter and a charge that is laid against Diddy. And they are trivializing it and trying to reduce it to a sensation of which freakoff and men with endowed and men with long hair looking like ghosts, men who are sex worker from here and there, men writing books and what Cassie urine and all these type of things. I'm like, what the hell is taking place? The last time I checked, sex trafficking is a very, very dangerous and illegal and also immoral act. And so if these charges are laid against him, I would think that these were the questions you would want to ask that rally around the charges that were laid against him. And so far, Don Richard, who went to court, did not speak on anything that had to do with sex trafficking. The only thing she was speaking on is Diddy hitting Cassie and all of that, of which many were proven to be a lie. So if Diddy is on trial for something, why isn't the case or what he's charged with being probed in court? Now, when we look at the situation and we see the Gene deal, we see so many former workers of Diddy who are doing so many testimony or so many interviews. We have seen the Jaguarites who have been speaking out about Diddy and about Cassie and about the entire situation and stuff like that. Listen, a person can go and say just about anything they please. In court is where it matters. If it can hold up in court, that is where it matters. Him speaking on Diddy doing this to Cassie and to other persons, those are people who are still around Diddy. He spoke on Misa Hilton, who is the baby mother of one of the baby mothers of Diddy, who is the mother of, I think it is Christian. Justin Combs' mother, and he was abusive to Misa and stuff like that. Misa have been around Diddy years later. Misa have been around Diddy, working with Diddy artists all along, even after that. So allow them to speak on their story. And if they don't want to speak on their story as a woman, then that's up to them. But him going and on these interviews and speaking on women who are still in Diddy's corner, Misa was in court and persons are saying that she's there to represent her son. Her son is not on trial, and Justin is also an adult. So if Justin decides that he's going to go to court, Justin is going there to support his father. He's not going there to support Cassie or to support anyone else. Justin is going there to support his father, who is on trial for sex trafficking. Misa is going there saying that, okay, she's going there to support her son. Justin is an adult. Justin is not on trial. So clearly, she's backhandedly going there to support Diddy also. But here is the thing. As I was saying, if these women were abused years ago when they were with Diddy and they chose not to speak on it and stuff like that, I don't see the purpose of Gene Deal speaking on it unless he was charged with such responsibility or was granted the permission to speak on these women's behalf, of which I don't think, while them being in Diddy's corner circle, still working with his artists and stuff like that, would have granted him permission to speak ill on Diddy at the time. Am I speaking in defense of Diddy? To a point, yes. I do not promote or support abuse, but the woman was compensated for years or 11 years, of which she left him and also went back. Dawn Richards, who was signed to Bad Boy, left and also went back. She contacted Diddy wanting to work with him after what she said he was abusive and he was a horrible individual to work with. He was high all the time. He was violent. He was very threatening. She left and she went back. She contacted Diddy, had an interest in him raising up dirty money group so that they could record songs, because she recorded so many after leaving and none of them were a hit. And she had an interest in working with Diddy again, and Diddy said no. Further, later, we saw wherein she filed a $6 million lawsuit against Diddy. So I'm saying that in the truth, there are lies. And in the lies are truth. And as I said repeatedly, it is not possible to sum up 11-year relationship in a week or two. It is simply not possible, because there are going to be this moment where there are things that I agree to, that moment things I disagree with. This moment, things that my partner agreed to. Next moment, there are things that they did not agree to. So it's going to be very mercurial for you to try to decipher 11 years within a week or two. It's simply just not making any sense. And like I said, the trial should be about sex trafficking, not what Diddy was doing in the privacy of his bedroom, unless it was something illegal, of which they spoke about drugs. I'm sorry, a person who's a drug addict has nothing to do with sex trafficking. That's not the charge. He's not charged with abuse. He's not charged with sex trafficking, with drug trafficking or drug inhaling or sniffing or smoking. He is being charged with sex trafficking. Under the RICO Act, and these are very serious charges. And I don't find comfort, and it doesn't sit well with my spirit that the entire testimonies so far have been centered around the wild and crazy lifestyle that he has been living. That is not synonymous or invented by Diddy. So many persons living that high life, so many other entertainers, so many other persons who are in Hollywood, all over the globe, who are very rich, very successful, engaged in such high drug-filled lifestyle. And where there is drug-filled lifestyle, there lies abuse, whether it be physical, whether it be verbal, whether it be emotional, there lies manipulation. All of these things come into play. Do I agree with it? Hell to the no, because bad behavior is simply something that I would never promote or support. However, I am more concerned as to why the trial isn't centered around him trafficking people to engage in sexual acts of which he was charged with, but more so on his wild behavior and abuse. And the media is doing a fine job, because the media have been spreading it like wildflower and have become a major propagandist machine, tool to stir the mind of people, to center their thinking and functioning around the character, assassination, and tainting of Diddy. I mean, majority of persons did not like the guy from the get-go. So I don't think that this case would have made it any worse, because persons never liked Diddy behavior, his flamboyancy, the type of persona that he puts on at all times in the spotlight. A lot of persons did not find the shiny life, flashy glamour lifestyle. They didn't like it, especially people who are from less socioeconomic background, or persons who were around him, signed to him, working with him, who believed that they were decked at bad card. But so far, the trial is about a character assassination even more, rather than a sex trafficking trial. And that's my issue that I'm majoring in. I'm majoring in that issue right now. Why isn't the trial around him trafficking people as to what he was charged with? And this is the reason the defense is ripping up all persons who are coming there to give their testimony, because the testimonies are very inconsistent. Not inconsistent like it was 8 to 8:30, or they reported on 8, but it happened 8:30. It is inconsistent in that what they're claiming simply did not happen, especially at a time when so many cameras were around that one would have actually caught him when he was abusing Cassie. These statements are simply not true. At one point, she was actually not there when what she's reporting or what she had reported took place. And perjury is a serious charge. You understand? And so Don would have committed perjury. These are very serious things that are taking place. And persons are laughing and thinking that, oh, Diddy is a dirty bad guy. Diddy is a dirty bad guy. He's fighting for his life. And things are coming out. Things are coming out. And persons want to know, who are not powered by social media or by the major news outlet, who seems to be a propagandist. Persons want to know, where are the sex trafficking that he was charged with? What is happening to those? That's what people are asking about. But that's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. May God bless you. Bye-bye.